All right. Hi, Jess. Welcome back.
Hi, Nev.
Today we are on episode 10, Digital Innovation and R&D. Are you excited?
Yeah, exciting topic for sure.
Digital innovation. The whole world is talking about innovation right now. Today I was watching keynote for Adobe Summit, and at
Mm,
the same time, NVIDIA has rolled out their new AI chip. At the
mm,
same time, I'm also seeing uh, other customer experience conferences running in Florida. It's all talking about AI, all talking about sustainability and customer experience. So the topic we are covering every week is actually
mm,
being discussed everywhere else in the planet. It's so interesting, all about innovation.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Everyone is happy, like
let's
jumping onto the bandwagon. Mm,
that's yeah, that is like one of our agenda as well. That um, it's like a deal breaker right now to stay in the speed, stay in the trend. Um,
mm,
you never know when you're left behind and the technology takes over the new market, and then businesses stay late, and then it
mm,
becomes tougher to grow.
mm,
So going with the trend is needed right now.
for sure.
And there are cross opinion also with the speed and quality with all this, the
Mm,
accuracy of data. But again, speed cannot be compromised, at least.
yeah, for sure. Mm,
Okay. Okay. Let's get started. For environment today, the question is, how does digital innovation drive the development of eco-friendly products? I I strongly believe when we say digital itself is an eco-friendly track compared to the traditional way of doing business. Digital with innovation on top for optimization and efficiency are even icing on the cake, because like innovation improves on the processes we have. Innovation gives new technology, new processes, new standard in the market, and new challenges to competition to work harder. And it simplifies a lot of things also. Uh, Innovation at all times solves some problem that is already there. So it is reducing problems that we have. So digital, I really would support is an innovation in itself. With that, on the customer experience side, um, relevant and reliable experience with optimized content engagement helps reduce e-waste, overproduction, and can do efficient inventory control. Digital experience on this side, like with digital transformation, it helps saving a lot of e-waste. Um, from it tells manufacturing units, uh, e-commerce uh, sites that what is the prediction for inventory requirement. Based on data, it tells um, from the demand and trend in the industry, like how much um, stock should be kept in the warehouses. So like with all this digital transformation, all this innovation with the tools, it is very useful to control all that process. It helps a lot. One more thing I would mention about 3D printing, that I I believe it's a great invention of our generation. It avoids surplus and a lot of landfill waste. It has the potential to optimize resource use and create a more sustainable future. We really don't have to keep a lot of inventory in the system, in the ecosystem uh, for the supply chain. 3D printing is quick, accurate, uses the raw material quite efficiently and correctly to the requirement, it reduces waste. So yeah, 3D printing is a great innovation I would mention as well. On the other side, digital twin is pretty popular and trendy. And when I learn about it, and I feel more confident about it, and it's very eco-friendly to uh, to test the prototypes or the material before even they go to production. And that saves a lot of resources and time. I was I was talking to somebody today in the Bay Area, and that is that we were talking about the Gartner report on Gen AI they published a while ago, and they are predicting like by 2028, 30% of Gen AI implementations will be highly optimized using energy conserving computational methods because utilizing resources, hardware, and energy behind AI has been in the discussions a lot lately. The business leaders are showing concern about like how much energy it needs to have a good AI systems in place. But like sustainability driven initiatives will help save a lot of energy by 30% by 2028. That's what Gartner is saying, and that's quite promising. I think it's needed right now. Otherwise, like AI is being a concern for mid-level and small markets. It's expensive. So in order to reach out to all aspects of the industry in the business, it has to be environment friendly and a bit affordable for all kind of businesses. That's my take.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I fully agree. I mean, everybody's excited about Gen AI, the potential of Gen AI. It's quite mind blowing, I guess, if you say by 2028. But then, of course, on the other hand, I'm thinking like, could it be even sooner, right? Just reading the news every day and looking at what's being released every day. I totally agree that actually with all the AI powered algorithms and data set, um, companies can actually build, they can test, they can validate hypotheses at a much faster rate. It will definitely reduce the margin of errors. It will increase the propensity of successful tests, the number of successful tests, I believe. And people can achieve building and testing at scale. And we can reduce manual testing as well as manual validation right now. And it should encourage faster development in general, including eco-friendly products. And we can move towards like more ethical kind of testing instead of, I don't know, like still relying on animals to test. And I mean, which I'm personally very against. And I think things like sustainable farming, mining, and energy production and harvesting as well to reduce harm on our environment, which we call home. Where sometimes we know it's unavoidable to have all these activities because we kind of need to cater for the people, our livelihoods. We need to cater for the next generation. So then, of course, we have to look at smarter ways to do R&D and using digital and AI. But to me, the big question also remains on the accessibility to those who are invested to produce such eco-friendly products. Do they have the means or even access to such innovation and tech? Or, such innovation and tech still sitting with some of the more popular type of products that are a little bit easier to sell or is more targetable or addressable to the mass market. So I think usually it's things like that that might stop people from benefiting from digital innovation. Yeah, that's my opinion.
That's great.
How do we democratize, I guess, That's the question.
Yeah, uh, yeah, that's right. So no, that's a great insight. Okay, let's move on to the financial implications of digital transformation. The question is, what is the financial impact of investing in digital R&D? It it is the question we come up with, uh, but it from R&D perspective, I would say it's it is not a big question because R&D towards innovation always pays off. We do R&D only when we have a new idea. We want to uh, we want to start something new. We want to discover uh, new areas, invent new processes, or solve big problems. So it always pays off. It can cut production time. It lower cost of failed prototypes because we can research and develop small pieces and verify before it grows up. So we don't have to wait um, until the product or software or service or any item is finished. So this is always helpful. It even increases the speed to go to market because experimentation is another word in the digital experience area. It's kind of R&D of engineering that like we test small pieces with small population of our audience, and then based on learning, we grow up and it increases accuracy of conversion as well based on the same thing as like testing prototypes and then build the whole product. So it increases speed and accuracy for going to the market to the audience. And like companies who invest in R&D always stay ahead of the curve. Having a budget in the side um, for learning new things, for experimenting and fixing problems helps companies grow up. Look at AI again these days. There are so many vendors coming up. They are doing all that R&D and they're giving us very beautiful services like Canva as an example. I would say it's such a beautiful tool, have made life of designers so easy, and there are filters using AI, there are plugins using AI in the tool, and they can retouch images, upgrade the quality like in fraction of seconds, which was like job of hours or sometimes days a few years ago. This is about graphics, but look at data analysis. Regardless of the size of your data set, you give it to AI and it gives you analysis the way in a very simple English language, like in fraction of seconds. So all that is a result from R&D, really. So and it impacts the bottom line on the balance sheet as well, because once your investment is done, after that, like it's only maintenance and upgrades, and and this and these days, like every business model is on a service, right? So subscription based, and there is a huge ROI on those things. On the other side, innovation helps stay up to date and adapt to market shifts before it's too late. Same case, same example as an AI, that like right now, every single vendor, every single seller, supplier, um, product businesses are leveraging Gen AI in some way or the other to keep up in the market. So because customers are looking for higher efficient tools, higher efficient products to improve on their businesses results. So AI is in a high demand, and for the same reason, like companies and businesses are also upkeeping their dimension towards AI. And moreover, it's directly aligned with customer engagement and satisfaction. Because if customer wants it, businesses have to get involved into those new areas to research and implement that. And in the end, like happy customers give you more revenue also. So it directly aligns with the revenue stream. For example, on the other side, like when you do R&D, you have two options, buy or build. In that comparison, like businesses have to be very careful about like when to buy versus when to build the tool. So I think it's like it is a topic for the whole different episode because there is a lot to talk about like this buy or build. But at this point, I would say like build when it is short term, when you have enough bandwidth and skills in your team and have budget to do that. And like it's because for vendors you have to align with the roadmap, and if they don't have it on their priority, you have to wait, and then that delays your results too. So in that case, like do your own R&D, get your own implementation done, and then it helps you implement that solution for your customers, which helps to generate revenue in the end. So there is a huge impact for sure about R&D on the digital side because technology is changing every few months. And even within technology, for a couple of years, like we have AI. Now we are talking about agentic AI. And today, on the Adobe Summit, I mentioned I was watching this morning the keynote, and Adobe is all in for agentic AI, and I mean, like they're big players going huge. And even in AI, standards are upgrading every couple of months. And when these big are adopting all these new technologies, like rest of the industry follows along too. So there is a huge shift coming, and like this R&D is more important than ever, I would say, at this point to influence the ROI perspective of the business.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. And do you know what LLM Adobe uses? Like, because I don't think they've kind of like said it openly. I don't believe they use their own, or they're creating their own, right? Or they're writing on maybe an AI or something.
Yeah, they have their Gen AI tool called Firefly.
Mm.
Yeah, and I mean, like right today they announced like most of their services are now powered with AI. And
Yeah,
yeah,
for
and
sure.
I'm a huge power user of Adobe technologies, and they are powerful. They are like in enterprise level ecosystem, very much involved. And I do see that like Adobe is going very high. It's like a in CRM it's Salesforce, but in content management and digital experience, now it's going to be Adobe only. Yeah, they are tough.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, there's this beyond the buy and build analysis. It's also, do you buy from one single source, or you kind of try to buy from multiple that best meet your needs, right? I guess this is another topic altogether that we can go on about, because there are a lot of pros and cons. But yeah, I mean, going back to the financial impact, and why we should invest in R&D. I think generally, when we talk about research and development, We know that it takes up a lot of time, it takes up resources. It is definitely a longer term strategy for companies who want to stay ahead of the curve and stay ahead of the disruption that comes their way. But then, there is a longer term adverse financial impact on those who actually don't bother to innovate or invest in any research and development at all. Because I think if we break it down simply, R&D to me is not just for tech-based or science-based products. Researched in the very essence of it, for other types of business, it can also mean, listening, gathering feedback, understanding what your customers are saying and what your non-customers are saying or your former customers are saying. And then the development part means enhancing and improving on what's working well for you, but could be working better, or what's not working as well now and what might not work as well in the future based on the research that you're gathering. So for sure, there is more positive sides to investing in R&D. And with digital, we are looking at things like, I was just reading about some quantum research, which is like a combination of different types of quantum capabilities, including like quantum computing, quantum communication, quantum sensing, and quantum materials. So potentially, if we look at quantum together with Gen AI, agentic workflows, it could be two very transformative technologies that will converge in very, very interesting ways. So that would actually enhance the research capabilities for a lot of companies, make it more accessible as well in the longer term without needing to invest in huge facilities, especially if you are taking whatever that has been built in terms of the large language models and not building your own, then you shouldn't be kind of like spending too much on that. Like I wouldn't encourage companies nowadays to build their own LLMs. Just make use of whatever LLMs is out there to build your own applications. That should actually be more achievable and sustainable for you from a cost and timing and resource perspective. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's my view.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, it's science. It's science-based. Yeah, it is a mix of art and science. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say. Because using technology intelligently matters.
Mm.
There is like a tool, no, a fool with the tool is still the fool.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if we don't know how to use the technology right, like it doesn't matter like how beautiful the technology is, right?
Mm.
It doesn't really matter for results in the end. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Thank you. Thank you for your insights. Let's move on to operational efficiency. In what ways
Mm.
does innovation lead to more efficient operational methodologies? The person I was talking to today about the future of AI, that based on that report by Gartner, Tom, we were talking about efficiency of AI, Gen AI in particular, and short-term and long-term future of AI. And my point was in that conversation that today, although like Gen AI has huge capability, huge advantage over any other technology at this point to process a lot of information in such a short time and give you human readable way the results in whatever you ask for. And this is very beautiful of AI, based on data, based on information provided, in short, based on past information, AI can give you very intelligent information. But I still feel like we still have to wait to rely on predictive analysis of it. It may not be super accurate at this point. It is still reasonably good for a second opinion, but the first opinion to make decisions, we still have to have other options in place to do the due diligence of AI results plus the business decisions that we have to make. So from the AI perspective, coming to the point, like leading to innovation, leading towards operational efficiency. Definitely, AI has huge advantage on improving efficiency. But my point here is, it can give you great results based on the past data. Towards predictive analysis, futuristic information, we may have to wait. It may not be far too much in the future, but as of today, I don't think we are 100% ready to rely on AI yet. On the other side, as I mentioned multiple times before, also, like, I'm a huge fan of chatbots if they are intelligent enough to address user needs smartly. Depending on whatever the technology and its capability, it can still and always beat the real human agents at scale in both cost and training terms. I mean, like, you train your bot once, and based on tech stack behind to support the load, it can address just one technology. It can address like thousands of customers at the same time. See the processing power of automation and AI. A very well designed and AI-enabled chatbot can even handle thousands of queries instantly. For thousands of queries instantly, like, imagine how much of human force we would need to support our customer queries, right? So this digital innovation is a game changer when it comes to implemented it correctly. So yeah, and AI is like doing magic on that front already. Data analytics at an advanced level can give real-time insights. You also have mentioned a few times, like, data is gold, but data has to make sense, right? Just data is not enough, but data has to make sense. But if it makes sense, it can give us real-time insights. It can help us make decisions faster. It can help us flag the right issues and even adapt to changes happening based on trends, based on demands, based on supply chain. So typical innovation encourages us for lean methodologies to streamline processes, to remove bottlenecks. In my day-to-day work practice, I love Agile. It helps scale faster. One of the manifesto of Agile is people over processes. Agile doesn't support, it does, but it doesn't really enforce to prioritize documentation over results, right? Yeah. So Agile says focus on results. Documentation, the bare minimum documentation is enough. As long as you are growing, you're making good progress and results are good. Prioritize people over processes. Of course, it doesn't say to ignore processes, but bare minimum processes and like lean processes, like what matters, right? That it can be 1,000 processes versus 50. If 50 makes sense, let's not add 50 first. So yeah, Agile practice, that's that help Agile help improve on the efficiency side, because all these things prioritize on the results over any unnecessary process in place. So yeah, that lean practice is definitely something I would say to keep in the system for efficient operational aspect of the business. That's my take.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to me, I mean, when people hear about the word innovation, they get a little bit worried. They start thinking that it has to be like wow ideas or something, like groundbreaking ideas. But I think innovation is sometimes just about finding more efficient ways of doing things, incremental improvements to make everybody's life easier. It's also not just replacing everybody or every human in the entire process flow, but it's also how we can enable them and support them to be more efficient with the tools. Because like you said, right, you can have all the tools, but if you don't know how to use the tools, they are just tools, and in order for them to know how to use the tools, there has to be some sort of knowledge guidance, knowledge handover, knowledge documentation. Give them access to the knowledge, to the info, to the data, which is why I think knowledge management, knowledge sharing, knowledge access is so important, especially in large organizations. And it's the power of knowledge, as we say, knowledge is power. It's really it's something serious. It goes down to the culture of the organization as well. Because I've seen so many instances where people are holding on to the knowledge because they know it is power. It's there to protect them, and they don't want to share that knowledge openly. They don't want that knowledge to be captured, and it becomes political. And then you have all this political play. People start becoming petty and insecure, and they think that if they lose hold of the knowledge, if that knowledge gets captured somewhere and everybody gets access to it, then they lose that power. But in order to really build a knowledge organization, we actually need to support them. We need to enable them. We need to educate them and let them know that by documenting that, it's not losing your power, but it's also helping you to be more efficient so that you can do higher level stuff, so that you're not just there doing very manual data stuff, updating slides, things like that. And if we look at, for example, many years ago, when people started looking at digital banking, they look at mobile apps, self-service kind of applications. A lot of the front office, they felt threatened. They felt like, okay, if customers start doing all that on their own, so what's the use for us? What are we going to do? So, but then look at where we are now. The front office feels like they need more enablement now. Now they start to appreciate why they need access to these tools and how the tools can actually help them to be better at what they do for their customers, so that they can actually provide right advice, they can provide knowledge-based kind of information. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. That's what I think. But it's really how we can change the mindset of the people and how we can kind of like teach them and educate them that knowledge is actually in their favor, and having access to tools is actually in their favor and not against them. Yeah. So don't overcomplicate things.
Great. No, I do remember. I want to share a story like about 10 years ago. And it doesn't seem very long ago. About 10 years ago, the people I was working with, the company I was working with, we were not really ready to go cloud at that point. Okay, we were thinking like our data is so critical, and I mean, I would say there was sense of not enough trust on the cloud infrastructure back then, about 10 years ago, not very long ago. And today, like all the businesses are selling cloud infrastructure at the scale of level that I'm talking about. So
Mm.
I mean, we were not ready to send over data to cloud. And who were the cloud providers back then? Amazon,
Mm.
Microsoft, Google, right?
Mm.
Big players
Mm.
only. And we were not very confident that data may be safe on the cloud infrastructure. So we wanted to keep everything on-prem. But time has changed. 10 years later,
Yeah.
right, everything is on cloud, right? So, and that's what, like, the change is little tough. Transition is complicated. Uh, yeah, but all these innovations eventually help us. That's for our benefit. Uh, of course, I wouldn't say just go and change blindly. Do your due diligence based on priority and your business needs. Um, Going with the trend, because ecosystem is changing, and now some people I'm talking to are not really fan of AI today still,
Mm.
which is
Mm.
funny. You may be less involved in AI, but you just cannot say that it is not useful. So it is
Mm.
debatable, but AI gonna take over majority of business decisions quite soon. So these innovations are beautiful, like cloud innovation. I say mobile, in the touch mobile and all the smartphones area, social media,
Mm.
um, and electric vehicles, and now AI. I mean, these are all like very beautiful innovations. They help us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the cloud is really helping companies to spread their risk, right? Because management of the data center can be done professionally. So instead of like having it
Yes.
on your own, and
Yeah.
how much can you actually maintain it in the right manner? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the right balance in between, like called hybrid, the hybrid cloud is the
Mm.
most popular way of implementing
Yeah.
cloud. And even like this agentic AI is
Mm.
giving like something similar solution in the AI world, like not relying on one service, like just have mixed
Mm.
models, uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, and scale based on agents. So yeah, this is another, I think, very good concept that's been introduced
Yeah.
recently. So AI
Mm.
is evolving from that front, and it's gonna be the similar magic quite soon. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Next topic, customer experience. My favorite, your favorite, all of our favorite. How do innovative digital solutions meet evolving customer needs? Digital systems help us a lot to know our customers. Every one of us should know our customers, the people visiting our website, people who are opening our emails, people who are active on social media. We do definitely want to understand them, like why are they on those channels and what are they doing and why are they being converted? Why are they not being converted? We need to understand all that. And digital optimization, it's like a group of processes um, and systems in the digital experience side to improve on the personalization front, enables us to understand customer behavior and deliver tailored content at scale. It may be tough to do it otherwise. Technology enabled us to cater our customers' specific and relevant needs in a much reliable way. And there are a few other services also that we can integrate into the system. We can do first-party data as well, but it's a huge effort, and first-party data may be limited to our own interactions. So a third party is a good option here to integrate service, and it helps us to even give us intent signals based on their activities on outside our channels as well. So we can based on that intent signal, can even more show more relevant information to them, and then increases the chance of conversion. Without such innovations on the digital side, I wouldn't imagine like how I would be doing all this that I can do today based on all these new services and intelligent solutions. And it really helps us to make better and faster customer experience, which is relevant, reliable, and yeah. So on the other side, like we all are, we are in the digital world, but even like people who are not in the digital industry for career, like everyone today is digitally savvy compared to like 15, 20 years ago. Uh, Whatever we are selling it to people who are aware of technology. And like people, our customers with little or no training are capable to use any kind of digital tools. These smartphones have enabled the majority of population to be technically savvy. So we should look at, and it's already there actually, like the self-service enablement of businesses to give option to customers to 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 do much of the tasks on their own through those channels, like troubleshooting the tools, and manage their own data on the system, and even sign up, check out. Uh, Um, so there's much that can be offered to customers on the self-service way. Uh, Even the service availability 24/7 can engage customers to the business even more. Then through uh, digital format, like we can have surveys run and gather feedback quickly from large number of customers, and that enables us to identify customers' needs, preferences, and comply with that to improve quickly, to deliver that level of customer experience that our audience is looking for. So there is a lot more to talk about it, but I would rather keep it for another episode, like how to do all this, like what technologies and what trends that we should be looking at in both B2C and B2B words. But I think these innovative solutions have really enabled us a lot to understand our customers and to improve on their expectations. Accessibility, uh, uh, which um, which is very important these days. Data privacy, uh, which is definitely required for compliance, and uh, digital solutions have enabled us to do it in a very well way. That's that's I have to say for now.
Hmm. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if we want to really talk about the tools per se, it's like a standalone episode altogether, right? Yeah. But of course, I mean, ultimately, I think tools are the means to an end, but not the ends in itself. And what's equally important is to have the right process to enable the use of the tools and people with the right skill sets to maximize the use of the tools, which is the same theory of making sure that you have not just a Ferrari, but the right driver who can optimize the use of it,
Good
the
example.
benefit of the Ferrari, right? Yeah. And with so many tools out there, I think we're all adding to the clutter. All the MarTech tools, customer engagement tools, whatever tools that you name it, we have it. And now consumers get even more confused, not to say marketeers, I think are equally confused as well. But what at a consumer level, I think what's equally important is also for companies to be transparent on how they're using the tools to collect the data, how they're using those tools to maintain, to retain their data, how they are harnessing their data, and for what purpose, and then how that actually ultimately benefits them. Not forgetting, to stay focused on the customer and not the tool itself. And I think ultimately people also still appreciate a little bit of a FaceTime and catch up in person over coffee, over tea, over dinner. Like in my current line of work right now, I know we operate remotely, we operate virtually, but then sometimes when it comes to certain client discussions, they still prefer like a face to face, where possible if they're in town and we catch up for a while. They appreciate that personal touch. So it's really finding the right balance between automating certain processes and still retaining that personal touch for the customer so that they feel valued across all of the touch points and your interactions with you. So yeah, make use of
Certainly,
the solutions to still meet their needs that way. Yeah.
certainly. Good point. Yes. Thank you very much. It's a great insight and useful
Mm,
conversation. Yeah.
Thanks, Nev.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.